Hello and welcome to another episode of Gully Cricket to Bouncy Wicket podcast. I'm your host Srinivas.
Hi, this is Manoj.
So Manoj, it's been a while since people heard voice of this podcast to you. So how have you been?
I've been good. I was having a viral fever last week, so I had to sit at home, do nothing, just recover. I'm good now. Yes, thank you.
I think still there is a bit of difference in your voice. Probably you caught some cold as well.
Yes, that's right. I had a cold and also a little bit of throat infection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
And these
now I'm getting
days,
better.
yeah, and these days with COVID around and whatever you get, you'll feel like,
Correct. That's right.
that
That's right.
COVID vibes will come, right?
Definitely, it was scary, but
Yeah,
then, yeah, I was in the path of recovery anyway.
great.
And because of this weather change, there was a lot of rainfall, as you know, in Andhra and Telangana. So because of the sudden weather change, also there, a lot of cold, fever, the seasonal flu also nowadays. So that could be one
Yeah.
of the reasons.
So lots of interesting things to talk about this week, Manoj. We have
Sure,
Manchester
sure.
Test forfeited slash cancelled slash postponed, whatever you can call it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
BCCI has announced T20I squad for World Cup, and then IPL is going to restart. So let's start with Manchester Test cancellation, or so-called cancellation, Manoj. So what were your thoughts? Do you think it is because of Ravi Shastri, or do you think it is because of IPL, or do you think it's fair? So what are your thoughts?
I mean, it was very interesting. A couple of days ago, there were rumors that BCCI, I mean, players have requested BCCI to cancel the test. ECB said, only if you forfeit the test series, then we would actually cancel it. Based on that agreement, I think, as you know, it was the test match was cancelled only 3 hours before the start of the start. So I'm not really sure what went on. Going by the news, I think Kohli and Rohit were the main reason. I mean, were the main players. Were the reason for this being cancelled. I think obviously the players' safety and safety is utmost importance for us as audience. Obviously, you would want the match to be played, but then you would have to take into consideration that safety and medical reasons as well, because they are traveling along with the families. If they contract virus, and it would also mean that the families also get affected. So because of that, I think they took that decision of
Nah,
not playing the test.
yeah, I think Manoj, it's fair to say. I mean, it's fair to accept what players want, right? Because, like you mentioned, we fans always want them to play like machines, but at the end of the day, they are also human beings,
Correct.
and they are traveling with
Humans.
families, and
True,
they have
true,
packed
true.
schedule ahead. Be it IPL or T20 World Cup or New Zealand coming to India and then to South Africa, this complete year they are having a packed schedule.
Correct, correct.
So I think players do have a point, right? Because let's say the match has started, right, uh, as per schedule, and then after one day the report has come that one of the players have contracted COVID. Then what will happen to them, right? I
Yes,
think on
yes.
Sky Cricket, Nazir Hussain mentioned aptly that let's try to imagine the mental situation of these players. Let's say a
Absolutely,
player
absolutely.
contracted COVID, and then he has to follow strict quarantine rules for maybe 10 days or 2 weeks. They have
Sure,
to spend
sure,
in isolation already
sure.
because of COVID rules at various countries and various destinations. Already players are doing the quarantine then and there. So considering these COVID protocols and everything, it's hard on players really. And like we mentioned, there is a packed schedule ahead. So some people are trying to link this to IPL. Some people are trying to link this to Ravi Shastri's book launch. But frankly, what I don't understand, Manoj, Ravi Shastri may got COVID because of his book launch. I mean, let's say that could be the main reason. But that happened long back. And what happened now to the junior physio or second level physio, that happened just like 4 5 days back, right? This book launch happened 10 days back. So I don't think that could be the reason here. And see, it's a harsh world right now, and it's not fair to rub the reason on someone saying because of this they have contracted or because of this they have contracted. In fact, after London test, England, I mean, all the restrictions have been taken off, and the players are staying in the same hotel as usual people, right? They are using the same lifts as general public who are staying in those hotels. So it's very much possible that these people will get contracted to COVID, and there is
Sure,
no
sure.
point, really go looking for the reason why it has happened and how it has happened, right? Because whatever you do, you are not going to find the correct answer, right?
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think it's fair, and the irony is that initially, if you remember, when the IPL has been rescheduled, I think BCCI has requested ECB to move this Manchester test as the first test match of the series, like starting the series early, so that
Right,
players
right, right,
can
right.
go to IPL early. So, but
Yes,
but
yes.
of course, ECB was having hundreds at that point of time. Like, it's a new tournament, and then they could not accommodate. So, like,
Sure,
these are
sure.
practical problems in the current situation that we are in. So there is no point in trying to put blame on someone. Or And anyway, this match, if played, would have ended as draw, definitely, right? Because as I see the weather forecast, 3 days it was showing
Mm.
rain. So definitely it would have ended in draw. So I think rescheduling is the, best option, I would say. And India is visiting England in July next year, so to play limited overs cricket. So one test match, I think they should accommodate at that point of time, provided rain supports even then.
Yep,
Otherwise,
yep.
India will take the trophy deservingly so. So
I
Manoj,
think,
let's move.
yeah,
Yeah,
even ECB chief has said, even if this test is rescheduled for next year, and that would be a standalone test, and it won't be part of this test, and it won't be, adjudged as the part of this series.
yeah.
So
Then in that case, India has won the series, right? It is
yes,
not
of
only
course. I mean,
about winning the series. More than winning the series, the WTC point system has to change, right? Right now,
right,
based on number of matches they
right,
are playing, I guess there is a point system, right?
right.
Per win, per this thing, there is
Correct,
an
correct, correct.
point system given there. So that has to
Yep.
be adjusted. I think Saurav Ganguly is visiting England in 21st, 22nd kind of thing, and then let's hope we'll get better clarity at that point of time, if at all
And
BCCI decides to make us aware what's happening.
I think now ECB has taken this and submitted it to the ICC, and they will have to adjudicate how whether this series is won by India 2-1, or will it be 2-2. So it's for them to decide now.
Yeah. So now I think September 10th being the final date to disclose the 15-member squad for T20 World Cup. All the teams have released the list of 15-member squad, so as BCCI. So let's have a look at India squad, Manoj. So basically, if I look at standby players at first, so Shreyas Iyer, Shardul Thakur, and Deepak Chahar are standby players. If you look at batsmen, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya. Coming to bowlers, Jadeja, Bumrah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Shami, Ashwin, Akshar Patel, Ishan Kishan as backup wicket keeper, of course, and Rahul Chahar and Varun Chakravarti. So your thoughts on batting first, Manoj, on batting
So
unit?
so if you look at the squad, if you kind of break up the squad, I think India have gone with three openers, if I'm not wrong. So we have Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, and also Ishan Kishan, who can open the innings. I don't think
I
they've selected KL. Yeah, sorry.
No. Again, BCCI said so. Like you said, they are
Yeah,
going with three openers. But again,
yeah.
if you see the last T20I series India played against England, Virat Kohli opened along with Rohit Sharma.
Right,
So do we need
right,
to
right,
consider
right.
this as BCCI's word or Virat's word? We don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, finally the captain will have a say here. I mean, if he wants to open, he will open. But then if he opens, KL Rahul has to bat in the middle order.
Or
I'm
he
not
has to
sure.
sit out.
Yes, or he has to sit out. Obviously, if he's batting in the middle order, he's not that effective. To be honest, he's much good player as an opener. So yeah, this is how the opening looks like. And then we have middle order in Virat Kohli, provided that he plays number 3, and we have Surya Kumar Yadav and also Rishabh Pant. So this seems to be a pretty good batting, I would say, and we have Hardik Pandya as the batting all-rounder, if I may say so, right?
And Jadeja as
Um,
well. You can
Jadeja, I
say,
mean,
he's
Jadeja is,
50% bowling,
of course,
50% batting, you can
correct,
say.
correct, 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 correct. Yeah, this seems to be the batting. I mean, I would have liked, to be really honest, I would have given Shikhar Dhawan a chance, um, because simply because he's at the fag end of his career, he deserves a chance. He played the Sri Lanka series. He was a top scorer there. If you see the three T20 series. He was the top scorer. He scored 88 odd runs, all three put together. So he deserved a chance, and also he would have helped with the right hand left hand combination in the beginning. So I really think, and also I really think why Akshar Patel is in the mix here, because he offers the same skills as Jadeja. Maybe I would have, if I were the selector, I would have given maybe Shreyas Iyer. I would have brought him into the team, and Akshar Patel as a standby, or maybe Sanju Samson to solidify that middle order. I mean, all in all,
actually, if I look at Akshar Patel, let's say they have
Right.
taken him as an all-rounder in that spot as a replacement for Jadeja, I would have gone with Shardul Thakur, because Shardul will give that batting probably.
Sure.
Yeah, see, if you see the squad, there are more spinners than fast bowlers, right?
Correct.
There are
Absolutely.
4 full-time spinners there. I mean, including Jadeja and Ashwin and Rahul Chahar and Varun Chakravarti. There are 4 spinners there other than Akshar Patel. So I feel they would have considered the fact that after IPL, pitches will go slow in the UAE and
Correct.
spinners will come into play. Probably that's why they would have gone with Akshar Patel, since he do a little bit of batting as well. I don't know,
Sure.
but I felt Shardul, because has the ability to pick wickets from nowhere. We have seen him doing that with the CSK and even in the test matches that he has played recently. So he would have brought some variety into the team. But again, these are traveling with the team itself. So I think it's a matter of time before they change the squad. So again, like you mentioned, Shreyas Iyer, because probably one reason could be he haven't played cricket for probably 6 months now, and
Correct.
teams has to decide before 10th of September. So we don't have time. And again, it's an open kind of squad. As I am reading some rules just now, I understood teams can change their 15 5 days before they start the quarantine rules there. I don't know what exactly the quarantine there, but I don't think it's a big quarantine for Indian players, at least because they are already in the UAE playing in a bubble.
Correct.
That may not be a big trouble. ICCI is actually allowing 15 players plus 8 officials. They will be taking care of expenses and stay expenses and all these things for these 23. And whatever, I think teams can carry whatever number of players that they wanted, like 3, 5, 7 additional players, just because of the COVID, and teams has to bear the expenses for them. So I think India has selected 3. I think they would have gone with another 1 or 2 also, because BCCI doesn't really bother about this money. But still, I think it's good call for now, at least, to keep Shreyas Iyer in the
mix.
In the standby players, right? I mean, it's harsh on him. At the same time, that's how his situation is coming back from the injury. I don't really mind seeing Sky there, because he would have played less cricket for India at international level, but the kind of form he is in, and it's a T20 World Cup. It's not like a Test Championship or 5 days game, 5 big series kind of thing.
Chances. Yeah. Agree.
And speaking of Shikhar Dhawan, you mentioned that you would have liked to see Shikhar Dhawan. I feel BCCI selectors would have moved from Shikhar Dhawan, and they would have taken Ishan Kishan for that place. Probably they can consider him as a left and right hand opening batsman as well. They can use him there. They can use him in the middle order. He's a kind of flexible player. That could be one reason. And he's a backup wicket keeper also, because if Rishabh Pant is injured, he can play in the same batting position, and he can be a reserve wicket keeper as well. And coming to bowlers, only 3 bowlers have been selected. Fast bowlers: Bumrah, Shami, and Bhuvneshwar, tested workhorses. So I think it's, considering the pitches assist spin, I think this is fine, because you'll have Hardik Pandya also to chip in and bowl 2 or 3 overs whenever it is required. So coming back to spinners, isn't it hard on UC Chahal?
Absolutely. I was about to bring this point.
Standby players.
Yes. I mean, Kulcha will dearly be missed in this series, because I think especially Kuldeep has bowled well in the previous series. So I don't know, because you also have Varun Chakravarti, who's an off spinner, and then you're bringing Ravi Ashwin. So I think it would have been made. It would it would have been made more sense if if they brought Kuldeep Yadav and
At least
Gaurav Yashwal.
they would have brought them as standby players. I think
Sure.
what is going to happen? Like India is going to pay expenses for two more people. That's all right, but they'll have
Yes.
options to replace. Based
In
on the
the reserve.
situation.
But very
But
harsh
yeah,
on both of them. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and in fact, as far as I remember, Yuzi Chahal has bowled well in the Sri Lanka series as well, right? So I
Correct.
thought at least he'll get a chance. Whether he is going to be in the playing 11 or not is a different story. But
Sad to see. Yeah.
yeah, I think Ashwin is a like to like replacement for Sundar probably, because if you remember, I mean, few months back, reporters asked Virat Kohli, asking whether with the form that Ashwin is in, will he get a chance in T20 team? So he said that we have a like to like player in Sundar who bowls in
Right.
power play and who can bat a bit. So how come Ashwin can get into the current scheme of things when we already have a player who is doing that? So, but right now, exactly the opposite has happened. Now that Sundar is not there, I think with the experience that Ashwin brings into the team, whether he is in playing 11 or not, and I mean, it will be nostalgic definitely for people like us who have been following
We
T20I
see
for
him
some
again
time, seeing
in blue.
Jadeja and Ashwin together, right? So in all probability, I think Ashwin will play a few matches because uh, Jadeja is going to be a definite playing 11, right? And then let us say they have to pick two more spinners. So one could be Rahul Chahar or Varun Chakravarti and Ashwin. So I think overall it's a good squad. We can keep saying that this player should have come into the team. This player should have come into the team. I mean, it's never-ending process with the kind of talent or kind of players that we have in India. But I think it's a good enough team for us to win the cup. What do you think?
Absolutely, we have. I mean, going by the form of the players now, we have all the team from the first. The first rung team is back into T20. I think we have all the bases covered. We have excellent bowling. We have all departments. I think we are sought after. So we have enough squad to win the series. I mean, to win the T20 World Cup, I would say.
Yeah, and India starting against Pakistan on 24th October. Basically, I think IPL is ending on 15th October.
15th October.
Yeah, and there will be sort of 8-9 days gap. I think it should be enough. Considering
should be enough for the preparation.
At least they are in Dubai, and then I think if there are no hard quarantine rules, 9 days of gap for playing a T20 should be enough. It's not that after that they have a packed schedule. It's a World Cup, so you don't get matches every day, right? After that, only once in a week, probably once or twice in a week, India is going to play. First match they have against Pakistan on 24th October, and then they have on 31st, which is a week gap again, and then 3rd November, 5th November, 8th November. So I think it's pretty much okay, I would say, because playing IPL players will get into rhythm, but overall, from where they are coming and where they're going after the World Cup, it's a packed schedule. But as such, for the World Cup, I think that's okay kind of thing. Again, it's a blessing in disguise that this test is going to get cancelled. So probably, I think players are going into quarantine. I don't think this is there in the beginning when they were supposed to move from England to UAE. I don't think this quarantine was there, probably because of players in England, staff in England getting contracted with COVID. Probably they would have added this quarantine. Players going to UAE are going to do 5 days quarantine, and they have already moved, and some players have already arrived in UAE. So
chartered flights,
yeah, chartered flights. Teams can offer definitely for Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma. They can give you a chartered flight from Australia to US as well.
Yeah. Why not? I think it was 6 days quarantine, if I'm not wrong. So I think some of the players have already arrived. MI, they've arranged a chartered flight for MI team and their families. And CSK could not get a chartered flight, is what I've heard. So they're flying using the usual commercial flight. So, yeah.
So Moeen Ali might miss the first match, right? If it is the case, I don't know. There is a 7 days time, and first match is between MI and CSK.
Okay.
So I mean, probably you would be just out of the quarantine 1 day before the match or something like that.
Right. And I've also heard some of the English players, they have withdraw their participation in this leg of the IPL second leg. I think Johnny Bairstow, Chris Wokes, and who else? David Malan is also not playing. citing
Okay.
personal reasons. So I think they three also won't be playing the IPL.
So Rajasthan Royals troubles are, kept mounting
Yeah.
one after another.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Manoj, just let's look at where we were at the first half or whatever the previous edition of the IPL that we are in right now. So if I look at the points table, frankly, I have a very short memory, so I don't
Me
actually,
too. Yeah.
remember.
Mhm.
In fact, you and me have done, bi-weekly episodes also, right? Or
Correct.
twice a
Correct.
week episodes also, midweek episodes. You and me have done more than me and Raja, and we spoke a
Right.
lot, but somehow I usually don't
Really
remember everything that we discussed, and it's been a while. So
true.
let's quickly look at which team is where in the points table, with
Sure.
DC leading the top of the table. They have played 8 matches, won 6, and I mean Prithvi Shah has been in quite red hot form, right? And
Definitely. Yes. Yes.
yeah, coming to CSK, I think they have found Moeen Ali as match winner. They have found a way
Yes.
to
Sure.
use Moeen Ali and win matches like no other team has done. There he has played for RCB as well previously, but somehow they found their winning combination, we should say. RCB again,
Absolutely.
they started winning
They
probably.
finding rhythm. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Playing
they
well.
started finding rhythm. They started well. The first thing is they
Definitely.
started the tournament well.
Yes.
So MI surprisingly is at fourth position. They again they just won the last 2 matches, and if you look at it, in the first 5 matches, MI has probably won 2 matches, and then they have won the last 2 matches, and they came to fourth position. RR lot of troubles, lot of players withdrawing
Yes.
from the middle of the season. Lot of players, has not come in the first place, and Sanju Samson, as usual, has started well, and then we have
Correct.
seen his
Correct.
performance getting tapered off. So Punjab Kings again, we used to joke at that point of time that they had two teams, and every alternate game
Correct.
they bring one team. Right?
Yeah.
The team was
Yeah. Yeah.
completely dependent on KL Rahul, and
KL
then
Rahul.
we keep
Yeah.
saying his strike rate is bad. At the same time, whenever he gets out, the team collapses. Right? We have seen multiple collapses from them, and
Absolutely.
KKR somehow they couldn't get the complete team together performing and giving the match winning performance. KKR at seventh place is definitely a surprise for me.
Yeah, for me too. I mean, considering the kind of players they have, they haven't been performing to their potential. Hopefully, they'll come good in this leg of the IPL.
Yeah.
Just hoping for the best for KKR.
And SRH has won just one match out of the 7 matches that they have played. It's quite surprising, and the kind of captaincy
Yes.
change and everything that has happened with
True.
SRH
True.
it's
True.
completely
True.
odd
Absolutely.
season. I don't know
Absolutely.
what they are going to come back and now and do. Probably they will think that they'll have a turnaround, right? It's good that they got a break,
Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah.
because they are a very good team, and as early as probably 3 or 4 seasons back, they were winners, right? I think 16 or 17 they were winners. So
Correct.
it's quite
Correct.
hard for them to see themselves at the bottom position. So this is the team standings, and first match is starting on 19th September. From there on, we'll have match every day, and weekends we are having 2 matches. Probably it's going for almost close to 4 weeks or 3.5
Yes.
weeks.
26 days is what.
Yeah, yeah. So 3.5 weeks or 4 weeks we can say, and final is I think on 15th October is not actually Saturday or Sunday. It's Friday, I guess. Yep.
Okay.
15th October is Friday.
The final is on Friday, is it?
Final is
Okay.
on Friday.
All right.
Probably they have no choice but to keep it on Friday, because I think immediately after that World Cup qualifiers are starting, at least. The main World Cup is
Okay.
starting a bit later, but World Cup qualifiers are starting immediately. So they have to, keep that in mind and adjust the schedule. I think this schedule itself would have been done with a lot of trouble, I would say, because it's not easy, because
Definitely.
India playing
To
one
fit
in
in. Yep.
and then there is a World Cup. But again, lot of money at stake, and BCCI obviously will not, like to lose the money, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was very tough to fit in IPL between this, but they've done it somehow. Hopefully, everything goes well, and then we will have a clear winner at the end of it.
And see what's happening now. We are seeing IPL every 6 months, right?
Yes, of course. And we had I think last
20
year in
IPL
September,
happened in
October.
October.
Yes,
20,
yes.
20
And
IPL
then
happened in October, and then last March we got an IPL, and then we are seeing
yes,
IPL again, and in 6 months we are going to see IPL again.
yes, starting again in April. At least last year, everything happened at once. It was cancelled in April, and then
Yeah,
all the matches happened in UAE. But then this time it was very difficult.
and before we move on, Manoj, I think we missed an important point in the World Cup squad. We forgot to mention Dhoni.
Oh, yes, of course. He's coming back as mentor. I think
So,
Sunil
so
Gavaskar. Yeah,
your
please.
thoughts on Dhoni with the team?
I'm not really sure. I mean, see, the team is mature enough. They have their own clear goals. Vishastri is there, obviously, and Kohli himself is a class player, and he has when he has his thinking cap on, it's brilliant. I'm not really sure why they're bringing in Dhoni as a mentor. I mean, it's an asset, I would say, but hopefully there will not be any no difference in opinions because Ravi Shastri is there and
Yeah.
Dhoni is there. Yeah, hopefully they will sort it out and do the best with him around.
So even
This is
I
my
feel the same,
feeling.
Manoj. Actually, Dhoni being there will be a good addition. I mean, but having things set for Team India already, with the kind of coaching staff they have, with the kind of coach and senior players like Ashwin is there in the things, and Rohit Sharma is there, Virat Kohli is there. Again, let's hope there will be no, I would say negative thing that's going to
Yep.
happen because of his addition. Forget about positives. I mean, if everything goes well, it's good, right? So
I I think the BCCI also would have consulted with the captain and coach to have done this,
definitely,
right? And Ravi Shastri also welcomed this selection of Dhoni as mentor. So I think they would have they would have consulted and then done it.
yeah. So why I remembered Dhoni now, Manoj, speaking of IPL and 6 months. So there is only next 6 months for the next season. So do you think Dhoni will continue because there is only 6 months? So do you
Um,
think this is the last season or he'll continue?
I think he will play for another year. Somehow my gut feel it tells me, sixth sense tells me that he will play for one more year. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, let's be
Because I think, see, 6 months is what is actually attracting me also to say that he is going to play. But one more thing that
correct,
has to be
correct,
considered
correct.
is right now there will be big regrouping and big auction, right? Let's say CSK haven't
Right.
bid for a captain or one who is going to take them forward. And then in next auction, even if Dhoni retires, where will they get a player of that sort? I
Correct,
mean,
correct, correct,
where will they get
correct.
player, I mean, of that
Absolutely
big
right.
a player? So it's a difficult situation, but let's see what is going to happen. Yeah. And we have few replacements for players which has already been announced.
Right,
Let's look
right.
at before we wrap up. And we
Sure.
have Wanindu Hasaranga in place of Adam Zampa for RCB, and Daniel Sams. He's also not coming, and they have got Dushmanta Chamira and Kane Richardson as well. It's not coming, and they are getting George Carton. So I think RCB. I think, sorry, in place of Finn Allen, they are getting Tim David as well. So
Mm-hmm.
RCB has got excellent replacement, I would say, Manoj, because we have seen
Mm.
what Asaranga can do in spin-friendly pitches,
Yes.
right? We have seen
Abs-
against India, and we have seen the hitting ability of Dushmanta Chamira when he played against
correct,
England.
correct, 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 correct.
And
Mm-hmm.
even for George Garton and Tim David, I think RCB has got very good replacements. Again, uh, even in the first 7 matches, they have a lot of changes to be done in the playing 11 to get the right combination. So let's hope they'll get early, and if pitches supports, really I look forward to what Hasaranga and Chamira can really bring out. Again, looking at RR now, you've said additional players are pulling out, and whatever for the earlier replacements, they got Jofra Archer and Andrew Tai, and they are getting Glenn Phillips and Shamshi. Shamshi is, I would say, I think he's number one T20I bowler right now in T20I International. He's a
Mm-hmm.
very good spinning option, and probably UAE pitches supporting spin, and they getting him probably a good addition, I would say. Again,
Yes.
Riley Meredith and Jai Richardson is not coming for PBKS, and they got two Nathan Ellis and Adil Rashid. Again, we don't know why in the first place Adil Rashid was not playing IPL from the beginning, but I think PBKS got him now, and KKR has done one change. Pat Cummins and Pat Cummins is not coming, so they have got Tim Southey.
Mm-hmm.
Now CSK and MI haven't done any changes, right? Even SRH. So three
Right.
teams are
Right.
like three teams are not getting any replacements, and CSK I don't think they need,
They
because
need any.
already all of them are retired players and players who are at their
Yeah.
end of the
Yeah.
career. But they have got
Correct.
Moeen Ali and Sam Curran. If England players are coming, then I don't think they need any
Any
big
other.
replacements there.
Correct.
So looking at the replacements and that first half of the IPL being played some time ago, I feel it's altogether a different tournament that we are playing. What do you think?
I mean, absolutely. First thing, it's not India. This is which is could be a slightly could be slightly different, and also we have a lot of replacements. So yeah, I know I'm not really sure if crowd, if crowd comes in. Are you sure if crowd is allowed in the stadiums?
No, I'm
Uh,
not sure.
okay. Then obviously it doesn't matter for the teams. It's just that pitch conditions and also the new players that they have to accommodate and gel with the team. So that could take a little time, but then they'll get going. Maybe in a few matches they'll try to adjust and should be okay from there. Is what I feel.
Yeah. So let's hope we are going to get an excellent IPL and T20I World Cup, and India is going to win the T20I World Cup. We are going to do multiple episodes in between as well. So to just refresh your memory on IPL, listen to our episode number 25 and 26, which we have done as a mid-season review along with our friends at Stride Drive podcast, where we spoke at length about the current position of the each team, what are the positives and what they can do going forward, right? We have done that episode, of course, with a different mindset, but we never thought, after 3 or 4 months we are going to go back and listen to those episodes. But you can definitely tune into those two episodes to understand what teams has done or where they went wrong in the first 7 matches or first half of the IPL. So that's all for the today's episode, guys. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and do leave your review on Apple Podcast if you are listening to this on any of the Apple platforms, and follow us on Spotify and Google Podcasts to get notified when we release a new episode. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more such interesting episodes. Bye bye.